But let's send it over to Tanitra and Andy, who are joined by Locked On Big 12 host Drake Toll.
So, Drake, before we get started, Andy and I have a question for you. So let me get this straight. Shana Johnson can sub in for Janai Broome, do superstar work, and come to his interview with us on time. But you, Diva Sir, could not take the time to make it on time for Andy and me.
Look,
how goes it, man?
I'm on the Banana Ball World Tour right now. The Party Animals and Savannah Bananas just sold out the Atlanta Braves Stadium. We're going to do the same thing at the home of the St. Louis Cardinals this week. I'm on a weird schedule today. I'm in a hotel room. I've got an excuse. I've got a doctor's note.
Hey, and I'm just envying you. Just a little bit of FOMO, you being in my hometown, my adopted hometown of Atlanta. So thank you for joining us. But hey, let's just get down to the fact that you got some revenge and some avenge opportunities in this Final Four. And you know that old saying goes, revenge is a dish that is best served cold. So how much is Houston shot to avenge last year's Sweet 16 loss to Duke? Maybe some motivation for the Cougs.
Well, revenge is a dish best served in the Final Four here for Houston, and that's exactly what they expect it to be. And that the win against Tennessee it's what has most of America opening its eyes to Houston being a kind of a boring basketball team, honestly, because they like to slow you down, because they like to suffocate you defensively. I saw a tweet that said Houston is made up of 2 hoopers and 3 guys who could start for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that is the way that Houston conducts its basketball team under Kelvin Sampson. You know, Tennessee only turned the ball over 9 times. This wasn't just an egregious game for the Volunteers. The rebounding battle was fairly tight. Tennessee had 20 free throws. Houston had 4. So why did the Volunteers lose by 19 points? Well, they shot 15 for 52 overall, 29%, 5 for 29 from 3 because Houston's defense is suffocating. And that is what the Cougars will bring into the matchup against Duke. Last year, L.J. Cryer was a massive catalyst for Kelvin Sampson. This year, he is all over again. He remembers the Sweet 16 loss to Duke. Cooper Flagg wasn't in the Sweet 16 last year. He was in high school, competing, getting ready to play for Duke. And I know that L.J. Cryer, who has been in college basketball now for 5 years, has that chip on his shoulder of, look, if I can go lead this team, a guy who's won a national championship at Cryer, he was there in Baylor in 2021. If I can lead this team the same way I was able to help lead that Bears team, we can go into Duke with some wily veterans that know how to play ball, especially on the defensive side. Houston, with this revenge game on tap, has a bit of that edge.
Drake, the Cougs played a pair of really close games against Gonzaga and then the game against Purdue where they needed a last-second shot to win. Obviously, as you mentioned, that comfortable win over Tennessee to get to the Final Four, but how much do you think them being battle-tested, especially compared to a Duke team that really hasn't had those experiences, how much do you think that's going to help them with an advantage in this matchup?
It's such an interesting point you make there, because we talk about Houston being battle-tested, but then they haven't lost more than one game, only that Texas Tech loss in conference play, since Feast Week, when we were talking about games in the Bahamas. Houston's only lost once since then. So battle-tested, yes, but they haven't felt defeat. They're on a wild tear, one that the Big 12 has never seen before in just year 2 for them to be in the conference. So as much as you can ask the question, man, Duke's blowing out a lot of teams, Houston has really been in that boat for a large portion of this season. They didn't feel that tightly contested, hard-nosed brand of basketball until this last weekend of the Sweet 16. And when they met it in full stride because Kelvin Sampson is their head coach. When Tennessee pulled it tight, or when they needed a perfect set, an inbounds play under the basket against Purdue, Kelvin Sampson is that guy on the sidelines that I will bet on 10 times out of 10. John Shire, very good at what he does. Kelvin Sampson's been around the sun a few more times than Shire. In this matchup, I think I can lean on Kelvin Sampson to make the right adjustments to be able to take down a Duke team that is so good offensively. That Houston defense, number 1 in the nation, versus the Duke offense, number 1 in the country, is must-see television this weekend. And for Duke, who played a much worse strength of schedule out of the ACC that was down this year, and for Houston, who is playing against Kansas or Baylor or Arizona or Texas Tech, give me the school, give me the team that was battle-tested more so over the course of the season and went 19-1 in conference play.
Yeah, a team that's battle-tested, a coach that's battle-tested as well, and that team being battle-tested, kind of growner than Duke, as I like to say, with a lot of veteran guys. How do you feel that kind of experience or that kind of age may play a factor, maybe, and be a big role against these Blue Devils?
Well, that's what's different in this game. When we mention the stars of the matchup for Duke, you're mentioning a kid who's 18, 19 years old in Cooper Flagg. For Houston, you're mentioning 24-year-old LJ Cryer, who has played, a senior who has played in the biggest games in college basketball, who again has been in the arena, ball in hand, in the national championship game. And even a few weeks ago in that Midwest region, coming out of the Sweet 16 against Gonzaga, 81-76, a high-scoring game for what Houston does, and that's them showing you some variation of how they could win this year. Cryer is old enough and has enough experience in college basketball. He can look around the locker room with a bunch of other 22, 23, 24-year-olds and say, hey, guys, we're playing a kid who is a generational player, but was in high school last year. And if we can suffocate him when he has the ball, if LJ Cryer can handle the other guards from Duke and we can double or put extra pressure and make him uncomfortable early, what if on the biggest stage Cooper Flagg has ever played on, we can rattle him a little bit? Now, that's tough to do. This is as pro as you can get for a young kid in Cooper Flagg, but I know that's an emphasis for Cryer and company with Houston.
Appreciate the time, Drake. Enjoy Atlanta.
Always. Next time you ask me to come on the show, I'll be 15 minutes late.
Fair enough, Diva. Fair enough. Appreciate the time.
See you guys. Today's show is brought to you by Supply House. As someone who just bought their first house, Supply House has been massive for me to feel like I'm not behind. HVAC to plumbing to electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online and get them fast. Over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands. Find exactly what you need. If you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for that extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Now it is your turn. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM. Start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with more. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Go to supplyhouse.com.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the Bracket Breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.
Today's show brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is where I go to make money. And make money I did on the Houston Cougars this weekend. With March Madness being here, FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Had you put $5 on Houston to win, you'd have gotten $200 in bonus bets. That's 200 extra bucks to even watch, like you're just watching the Cinderellas and who's cutting down the nets and everything with a little vested interest. I picked the Houston Cougars to win the national championship here going forward, even to beat Duke, and I've done that on FanDuel. The tournament game is happening so often as well. There's always something exciting to bet on. The FanDuel app is simple to use. When I win, I get paid instantly. Visit FanDuel.com to get in on the college hoops action all March and April long. And it's FanDuel.com. Visit FanDuel.com today to get in on the action, the official sports book of the NBA.